Hey guys, before the episode today, we want to tell you about our upcoming live show.
Cory, where's this live show at?
Union Hall in Brooklyn, New York, one of the finest comedy venues in all of New York.
They got a lot of books on the wall in there, don't they?
They do. It looks like an old library.
Monday, December 6th, the Bradshaw Boys will be live, 7 p.m. 7:30. Get there at 7 because it's going to sell out.
Yeah,
so if you want a seat, get there at 7.
Also get there at 7 because they have a lot of good drinks at Union Hall. It's like you can get a lot of good food and you can hang out with other Bradshaw Boys fans.
That's true.
And we're going to be podding live. We're going to have guests. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have all kinds of fun things. It's our first live show in 2 years.
Yeah, we want to see you.
Yeah.
We want to see every single smiling face in
That's
the
right.
crowd. We want to shake hands, kiss babies, do all the fun stuff.
Bring your babies, bring your hands. And
You bring
can,
a baby, I will kiss it.
Yeah, John will kiss it, and then he'll make it fight his baby. And then we can play bocce ball afterwards. So they have bocce ball.
And they do have bocce ball.
And then we'll all make plans to watch the And Just Like That premiere probably the week after.
Probably so.
And then afterwards, I can take you outside and show you where my favorite gym used to be adjacent to the Union Hall called the Body Reserve.
Body Reserve. All right, so December
6th,
7:30
30.
at Union
Hall.
UnionHallNY.com, or go to our Instagram, click the link in bio, and get tickets. See you there.
Love you guys.
This episode is brought to you by Timberland. The Timberland boot was built to keep you warm, keep you dry. Then they passed it on for you to build something. You took it from Buffalo and Philly to Chi-Town and New York, from London to Paris, all the way to Shanghai, around the block and around the world. They built a boot. You made it an icon. Timberland. Build forward. Share your Timberland story and tag them at Timberland.
You're now listening to The Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three relatively grown men binge the iconic HBO series Sex and the City. So dust off those DVDs and grab yourself a white wine or even a Cosmopolitan and settle in. Take it away, boys.
Welcome to Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three guys are rewatching Sex and the City with you. And just like that, I'm Cory Cavin.
I'm Kevin James Doyle.
Jonathan Sieber checking in.
Wow.
And we are back in person.
That's right. I want to do a pre-apology. My voice is a little bit tired today because of an activity that Kevin and I did this weekend. Marathon cheering.
Oh, yeah. You guys did. I saw.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's funny. I had a show the night before. Thanks for everyone who came out.
Mhm.
None of you. Just kidding. No, Meg Daly did, and her parents.
Dr. Doyle.
So my voice was already a little shot,
Mhm.
and I was so impressed. You kept on being like, "Go this person, go," and I would do like. In my head, you would do like 10, and then I would do like the 11th one, and then and now I know that you're not invincible though.
No, the marathon is like one of my most favorite days in New York City.
So good.
That's great.
It didn't happen last year, did it?
No,
And
I ran it last year. I did.
Oh, yeah, you did.
It's a virtual. As long as you ran it between like this 1 month and sent in your results, they're
Really?
like, you ran the New York City
did
Marathon.
you get a medal?
You had to pay for the medal. Rich paid for it. I didn't. But technically, I can say I did. But no, it was a shitty COVID year.
Yeah, and it's just like the city is just so alive and vibrant.
It's amazing.
People are just cheering, and I just love it so much.
It's
And
great.
John and I live directly off of the route.
Yep.
Cory's pretty close.
I'm close, but I took the train to watch it in another part of Brooklyn because it's like right off the train that I'm off of. But you are both like right there.
I'm like 10. I live like 10 feet away from the route, from the 5 mile route.
I missed it like a few years in a row because I would just be like out late on a Sunday and then like sleep in, be hungover.
Dude, there's no like worse feeling than when you're hungover through the marathon and you're like stumbling outside to get a coffee and a bagel and the slow people are running by and you're like, your initial thought is like, look how slow those people are. They're pathetic. And then you're like, oh shit, I just woke up with a hangover and I'm just now hobbling out. No one who runs a marathon is pathetic. That was a joke.
Yeah, no one who runs it's pathetic. My parents were here over the weekend.
Yes.
And we went and watched it, and we didn't sleep in super late, but we didn't get up early. And then I realized that the guy that won, he ran in, I think, 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Jeez.
And
That's just trucking.
He was done like before we left the house,
Yeah.
which is insane.
That is.
Have you seen those people go before?
Yeah, it's
They're flying. It's crazy.
Can't
I'm
even
surprised there's
imagine.
never not a Sex and the City episode about
I
the
know.
marathon. Like it just seems like there
Who
would
would
be
do the best? Who would do Miranda?
Charlotte's the runner.
I thought Miranda. No, did Miranda train for the marathon?
She met the guy, the butt eating guy, when she
Well,
was
she
training
was-
for like a 5K.
Oh, it
Was
was
a
just a
marathon?
5K.
It was some race. Maybe it was a marathon. Because I guess he was the marathon.
Dude,
I don't know.
If you're a visitor and have never been to New York City, it might be more expensive, but I would highly recommend Marathon Weekend.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's so fun.
When I was doing my off-Broadway show, because it ran for probably 3 or 4 marathons and years. And so, and each time our shows would like sell out like crazy.
Mhm.
And our audience would be filled with people that were like from Finland and the whole audience would just be tons of people that were in for the marathon running it. And it was so cool.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Just to let you guys know, we're recording in Kevin's apartment, and
Mhm.
he has postcards behind it, or like what are those things called?
Index cards.
Index cards, because he's working on a new comedy show,
Mhm.
and just right over his shoulder is the word butthole hair, and it's just like every time you talk, I just look at butthole hair, and it makes me feel really happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2022 coming to a streaming service near you. Kevin James Doyle stars in Butthole.
Butthole hair.
I'll tell you what, that joke crushes.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It's a good joke.
I just pulled it out of my bag
You
on
pulled it
Saturday, out of my butt
Yeah.
on Saturday. And I forgot like how well it does. And people laugh in a way that it's like, you know, since humor is based on people relating to it, it's
Mhm.
just so many people laugh at it that you're just like, man, so many people here have butthole hair and haven't talked about it yet. And I just get to be the sacrificial lamb to just be like, hey, I am who I am.
I would say that everyone everywhere has butthole hair.
Yeah, but no one
right?
talks. No one talks, about it.
But everyone has it.
Yeah.
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 Of course.
So
Doesn't
I think
everyone
that's
have
why.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
Except for babies.
That's true. And they can't talk yet. So
That's
it
true.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's that one chat and chew where they all sit down and talk about their full bush butts.
Oh, really?
Well, and when they
I'm
go
just
to LA,
kidding.
they
No,
get the
there's-
Brazilians. And
Yeah.
she's like, it's just like waxed everywhere.
Yeah.
Do they
yeah,
wax your butthole when you do a Brazilian?
From what
Yeah.
I've heard, yeah. We never followed through on our plan to
To go get Brazilians.
There was a plan where we were just going to be like
Why don't we do
The
it
I'll
before the
try
live
anything
show and we'll
guys.
play a video of it?
why don't we do it at the live show?
Get someone to do it while we're backstage?
Or just have someone
I'm just
cover
nervous
everything up
about.
with a
I feel
sheet.
like that'll rip your scrotum open.
I don't know, man. I don't think it would rip your scrotum open. It doesn't like rip your skin off.
Yeah, that's what I haven't heard that it does, but that's what I think would happen.
Can you get an expert on the line? Does waxing your scrotum? Do you? That's the point. I don't know if you wax your scrotum.
Well, you can't wax everything else and then just have long straggly hair. It would just make it stand out more. If you just have a bunch of ball hairs and no.
Just looks like bubble gum in the bottom of a drain.
I bet I bet it wouldn't rip it open. I bet your scrotum skin is stronger than you think.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully.
It's like a tanned leather jacket. Probably.
It's like Richard's face.
Dude, you know one of the most made fun of one of my friends got when we were in high school or something. Someone's just like, they were talking about in like sex ed, someone's like, the signs of like going through puberty or like getting pubic hair. And then one of them is your penis skin darkening. It's so weird. My penis skin isn't dark. And then everyone just made fun of him for like not having gone through puberty because he like clearly hadn't.
Yeah.
But he just totally opened himself up to it. He's like, your penis skin darkens. And he's like, mine hasn't changed at all. And we're like, it's because you haven't gone through puberty. Picked on him, but
I don't
he
think
must have had some pubes. What?
it darkens.
And you know what? That dude,
Uh-oh.
the last time I saw him, he went through puberty in college. Last time I saw him, he's like 6'4", and he's like, hey, Kev.
Hey, what's up, Kev?
He dropped his pants and he just had a dark purple penis.
Yeah. It was
He's
just like,
Checking this out. Just Grimace from McDonald's just
Yeah.
dangling between his crotch.
yeah. Hello. Do you remember when we talked about that one time?
It was great. Turns out I hadn't gone through puberty. But now I've gone through 3.
Dude, this is good banter for the next episode because we talk about young horny boys.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
But this episode coming up,
Frenemies.
Just I remember loving this episode.
Yeah.
A pretty relatable New York episode, like from some things that I remember happening in it.
I don't think I remember much of this episode. I'm excited to watch it and dive back in.
Well,
Dive back in like
put
it's
on your suit.
dive
your
back
swim
in like
cap,
it's
John.
Miranda's butthole right after a long run. And you're that one guy. And you're that one character who likes that.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey,
big ups to him.
Big ups. That's what we're about to do to this episode.
Take it on a nice long jog.
But before we do, let's
Get it
let
nice and
John's
sweaty.
lovely wife read the
okay, Katie.
Sorry for my voice.
Episode 46 Frenemies. Carrie teaches at the Learning Annex, but her course on how to find love is very unsuccessful, just like her love life. Miranda dates one of Carrie's ex-boyfriends, known as Mr. Asshole, who she meets at the funeral of a dead, never-met blind date. Charlotte gets sexually frustrated with her sex life with Trey, and Samantha gets in a fight with Charlotte about her attitude toward sex. And now, back to the boys.
Okay.
Frenemies.
Frenemies.
Get out of here. I love TV.
dude.
Best.
True LOL.
I laughed really hard.
It was so well executed because
Get out of
it's-
here.
Yeah, it was so good. It was like such a subtle joke. It was obvious, like they didn't overplay it though. It was like, that is such a dude.
I believed that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I believed him that he loves TV.
Yeah, he was so excited for her job,
I know.
and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I found a guy who likes
I
TV."
can't believe I found a guy at a bar who likes TV, sports, soaps, news, weather, loves TV.
There's actually truly one of my favorite quotes of all time.
Ooh.
Is by Clive Staples Lewis,
Mm.
C.S. Lewis, the Christian theologian,
Mm-hmm.
and he said,
The less popular Clive Cussler, of course.
Who's Clive Cussler?
He's just
just a guy who went to high school.
no, just like an author that churns out like 3 books a year. Like if you've ever been to an airport,
War novels?
I don't even know what they are. It'll be
I know,
like,
I've seen the name now.
it'll
Now
be
that
like-
you're saying
yeah,
it, I
it'll
think
be like Dark Shores at Twilight, a Clive Cussler novel, and you're just like someone somewhere is pounding Cusslers.
Dude,
you know, when James Patterson wrote a book with Bill Clinton,
Mhm.
and I was like, dude, I bet that was like right when Bill Clinton like just couldn't fuck anything, and he's like, fuck, I need something else to do. And he was like, I'm gonna write a book with James Patterson. That's just like what, like he's like, I have to do something with my time.
Hey James.
And then he just wrote, he's like, hey, let's write a just like an action novel. Like the former president just wrote like an action James Patterson novel.
James, I got this idea for a character named Jason Dorn, and he's a spy,
He's
an
a
intelligent spy.
He's a spy.
Listen, James.
He's a spy. It's similar. He does the same like throat cracky thing as Matthew McConaughey.
But yeah, it's more of like
Southern thing.
I think it's a little more. It's almost a little more Biden too, though. It's because he's old. He's
Yeah.
older now. He's like, I mean, the best example of it is Phil Hartman in the McDonald's sketch when he's intercepting cheeseburgers. Do you all know this?
No.
It's SNL sketch. Oh my gosh, it's peak someone doing Clinton.
Okay.
It's so great.
Yeah,
He
check it
just
out.
keeps talking about grabbing hamburgers, and he's just like, take this, and then he grabs someone's hamburger and eats it, and he just goes, intercepted by warlords.
You were doing George W. Bush.
I was doing Bush then. Yeah.
That's so
It's
funny.
so hard to
It's
not
hard
do
to not do
Bush.
Bush.
Yeah, I
We
know.
could just do any politician.
Also read 3 Shakespeare's.
Also read through Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
But
Clive Staples Lewis, favorite
Yeah,
quote.
he said a friendship is born. A friendship is born the second that you say like, is it Is it?
I hope we look it up.
Is it?
And that's the actual quote.
Is it?
A friendship is born like.
And then 17
do you remember the exact one?
It's a friendship is born when someone says, "Oh, you too?"
Dude,
It's something like that. Yeah, it's something like that.
That's so
I think
good.
it's basically like
You too. I thought I was the only one.
that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And-
that's what it is. Yeah.
You're
And
talking about the guy's love for TV?
that's what it was. That's what it was. The friendship is born. She's like, I work in TV.
Yeah.
I love TV. They may not be soulmates, but they're friends forever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's Clive. C.S. Lewis predicts that right there.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Do you think C.S. Lewis's ghost is just like, I'm on a podcast? Is it a Christian podcast? No, they were talking about eating ass in the intro.
oh, that was their little plot line for the wardrobe.
I didn't think that was existed past the wardrobe.
You can do anything in Narnia.
Mere cunnilingus.
Oh
gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're dialing this one back.
Carrie asks, are we getting wiser or just older? Great question. Great question.
Yeah.
The 4 storylines, Charlotte and Samantha's storyline mirror each other.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of become the yin to each other's yang and the yang to each other's yang. Charlotte's, of course, still having problems with Trey, so she goes and sees her Kappa Kappa Gamma friends. And Charlotte to them is the Samantha, where Samantha is the Charlotte to her new friend Claire Ann, the Southern, the blowjob under the table lady.
Yeah.
Carrie's teaching her dating class, and Miranda dates one of Carrie's exes, asshole Jim.
Have you ever seen a blowjob happen in a public place in New
I
York?
know the story you're going to tell, and I have not.
Have I talked about it on the pod before?
You may have, but if you haven't, it's been a long time. You might have talked about it at a live show we did.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's a ridiculous story.
There's a comedy
Wait,
show.
were you asking a question, or was it just so you could talk about your...
No. Have you ever seen that? Not on the streets, because like you see lascivious things.
Oh, I've seen it outside of a playground in a car.
I've seen two people. I haven't seen that. I saw two people in like a crazy precarious position in a car and walk by and just saw everything happening. But it was and I have seen a BJ happen in a car between here and my apartment. There's a little area where they just park all the garbage trucks, and I walk through there to get home.
Why would you ever walk through there?
It's the
route.
It's the route.
That's what Google Maps says.
Yeah.
I can't deviate.
But so yes, I have, and yes, you have.
I also saw one time I walked by. There's this park on like 46 between 9th and 10th, I think, and I saw someone getting a blowjob in that park once. It was late at night. I don't remember, but they ruined their bag.
They ruined their bag.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They got ejaculate on their bag.
Oh gosh, that's horrible. That's terrible.
I was listening to your story for like, tell me more about it. Oh man, that was like 8 years ago.
I was talking about Kevin.
We can make this official.
No, is that the story you were going to share?
No, it's not.
Oh, sorry.
I did get a blowjob.
I'm sorry. We can cut this if you want.
No, we can totally not. Everything's fine. But I was on a show at Irish Exit. They used to have a comedy show there. It's just like a bar at like 52nd and 2nd or something.
Yeah.
Midtown bar. And they had a back room that was like private for comedy. And then just like imagine a front Irish bar and then like a little booth area.
Yeah.
Fluorescent lighting like it is here. And then every comedian that went on stage was just like, there was just a guy sitting there. They're in like 25 finance type people. Just this girl like giving this dude a blowjob, and he would just like look up and look at people and smile. And then people would like walk out of the show and like look at it. They're clearly drunk out of their minds, but as public as it could get.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking crazy.
Jeez.
And it was like, then like people, I had an iPhone, but it was not that popular to like take pictures or like film stuff. I think now people are like, what? And they'd be like, stop. But
when did that shift happen? We can talk about that later.
I don't know, but
I know what you're talking about.
I remember at the time, like you would have felt ashamed to cover it.
Yeah.
I feel now people would be like, what the fuck?
Oh, totally. Now, whenever someone like gets even mildly annoyed with you, they pull out your phone and they start recording you.
Yeah. Totally.
And he's like, what are you going to do with that video?
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's helpful to record the truth when people could lie, but then also there are times that it's like that she wants to blow that guy in a restaurant. Keep your fucking phones away.
Yeah.
Also, he looked like he was getting pretty much raped.
The guy under the table?
The guy.
Oh, the guy in your
tonight?
story.
In the show?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, not the show. In Sex and the City.
Oh,
the guy was like, "What?" And like,
I think he liked it.
he towards the end, but in the beginning, I was like, "How's this going to end?" He looked like, obviously, it's a surprise, but I was like, "This is making me uncomfortable."
Yeah, Claire Ann.
Claire Ann goes hard.
Yeah.
She goes hard in the paint.
And she's gonna. What's funny
Claire
is
goes hard in the paint.
It's funny that she is going to meet up with her. So she's just like, hold on, just let me get this one thing finished and then I'll meet up with you.
And we'll go to Samba together.
Yeah, exactly. No Samba. Hey, you can forget about Samba.
Dude, that's like Samantha's version of the soup Nazi. No soup for you.
No Samba
No
for
Samba
you.
for
No
you.
Samba for
No
you.
Samba for
Yeah.
you.
No sush for you.
How did y'all think, like, maybe it was the mood I was in when I was watching it, but their treatment of death, like, it's played for comedy because it's a comedy show, but there was a weird thing, when it was just like when she makes the call and it's like,
Miranda,
he died today.
Yeah.
And then they're all at the wake, and then there's just kind of a thing where it's like, well, they're dying on us.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, it might have just been like where I was when we were watching it, but like, I think there's a weird thing when you do get, I mean, I don't want to like take it too dark, but like you do get to your 30s and like people die.
Yeah.
It's like freaking sad.
Yeah.
And they cover it later with like Lexi Featherstone, which is like more of like a crazy kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, it was a weird thing when she was like, well, all the men are dying on us.
Yeah.
When is it in your lives that you first were like, I'm getting old, or I'm feeling older than I did in the past? Do you have like a moment or
It's a good question.
something that like sticks out?
I'm trying to think, like, I mean, the past 2 years have been.
Well, that's just been an accelerator the past 2 years.
Exactly.
It's like foot on the pedal.
Do you think because of pandemic and stuff like that?
It's just
totally.
like,
all the plans you had are like on hold. So you're like, what am I going to do with my life?
And also a lot of other things are accelerated where it's like people move away, people make big life decisions because of it.
People I think I'm in this relationship. I kind of want to get married. Okay, now I'm going to have a kid with that person.
Absolutely.
And it's just like,
I mean, that literally happened to people we all know.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Katie and I
multiple
wouldn't have like probably had a kid so soon.
Were you
We
not
just
going to marry her?
like-
Wow.
Yeah, it accelerated a lot of things.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't, like, it'd be awesome if your 30s were just like forever, you know? And I think that's in my 20s, I was never like, oh man, like I was excited for my 30s, and now I'm 36. They're almost done. And I would totally repeat 30 to 36, like copy and paste those years, like
absolutely
10 times.
Yeah.
And that's just like, yeah, like there are sometimes you get bored and you want to push yourself more.
Right.
But I wouldn't repeat my 20s. I would repeat these 6 years. And that's when I realized that it's like, oh yeah, but then you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't repeat anytime. So I would say I've felt it more the past few years caused by the pandemic. A lot of my friends having kids, a lot of kids being married, that you're like, you basically have an option to live like whatever life you want, because we're like pretty, I don't know, like fortunate in those ways to live where we live and have, good jobs and things like that. And then being like, oh yeah, it's kind of a choice if you want to have kids or get married or fucking live in a completely different place.
Right.
And it's like, oh, it'd be sweet if you could do 30 to 35 in Paris. 30 to 35 in Nashville and start a band. It'd be awesome if you could do all that shit, but it's like you don't. You can do it once.
I think that's the age cops coming for us right now. Yeah. I think God, they're getting closer.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Hey. We heard some people here aren't living life to the fullest. Excuse me.
Did you guys misquote C.S. Lewis in here?
Yeah, I think it's been the past like couple of years. I always had this feeling or like saying that it was like New York is a place where you can be eternally 27 years old.
Yeah.
Which means that you're young enough to still go out and be like semi irresponsible, stay out till super late, but you're also old enough to like hold down a high level job,
Right.
or make like big time life moves, like get married, have children, have a, buy property or whatever. I didn't move to New York till I was 27. And so I always felt like even though I was older than a lot of people I knew, I always felt like I was on a younger track.
Yeah.
And I'm older than both of y'all. And so I feel like probably like past 2 years, I think it was maybe right before COVID. I think it was probably like 2019 or something, but past couple of years, I mean, I'm in my 40s. And so like, I felt like recently, because of seeing people have kids, and I've had a couple friends have kids, like I feel like there's another wave of people having kids like you and Katie. And also, like we said, pandemic stuff just made it to where you see people like be like, all right, this is happening. That's when I start to think like, oh yeah, what moves am I making?
Right.
And not only that, but like, what do I really want?
Right.
It's a combination of that. And it is also a combination. And people always say this about being older than other people, but like, but it's references. It's like references you make to things and people don't get them. And you're like even when I was saying the Phil Hartman McDonald's SNL sketch, I'm like, oh yeah, that was when I was in high school. And so it's
that wasn't my cast.
Yeah, exactly. People always say your SNL cast is your high school cast. But
that's interesting.
But it's also that like now I realize that like a lot of the stuff that's popular music and fashion wise was popular when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And it's like I've been like, oh, I'm reliving all these like trends again. So oh no, they're coming to get me to take the old folks home now.
All right. I heard that some of you guys are wearing Jinkos. All right, we'll allow it. They're back.
Okay,
dude.
But yeah, so I think as of recent, yeah. It's not bad, but I think as of recent, yeah.
Mine was when I found great pubes. You guys are
really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
Well, you might have found great pubes, but is your penis darkened?
Mine is when my penis darkened. No.
Also, my vision has gotten significantly worse in the past couple of years. I have to wear glasses a lot more. So there's that.
If I eat really bad, it affects my.
If you eat really bad?
Yeah.
It affects your vision?
No, it affects my intestines.
Oh,
yeah. It didn't before.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was like, if I eat really bad, I can't see straight. And I was like, you need to get that shit checked out, man.
Yeah.
You need to go to City MD and
the second Taco Bell touches my mouth, I'm just start going blurry.
The chalupas in my eyes go black.
That's crazy.
That would actually just be from like from
sodium.
No, just from like love. I fucking love Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's so
let's talk about Carrie's class. Would you recommend your single friends pay to go see Carrie Bradshaw teach a class on how to pick up men?
If she did the second one. The second one, yes.
Second one was like perfect.
Was
great ending to that.
Ending.
Boots on the ground, in the field, getting your hands dirty,
and
micro dirty jobs.
Yep.
Hanging out with people that like TV.
Yeah.
You like TV? But also her being like, spent the money I made to take these women out.
Buy them
like,
drinks.
It's kind of like the best version of a pickup artist thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, what's the pickup artist name again?
Mystery.
Dude, is she the new mystery?
Mystery?
What if that's what the new show is about?
Oh, she's also called Mystery, but it's MISS. It's Mystery.
Mystery. It's just her wearing a gigantic 3-foot fedora, negging people.
Wait,
you don't love TV.
You love TV.
You hate TV.
You've never even seen a TV.
You don't even know what TV is.
You can't even turn the TV on.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be back.
It's sort of like, I mean, it's interesting watching that because the only thing holding anyone back from like meeting people is kind of embarrassment and shame, which are valid things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There would be only so many times I'd subject myself to just being like, hey, like we should get a drink. And it's like, I have a boyfriend. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to do that with every single time I have a decent banter back and forth with the person or whatever.
Right.
But it is sort of, there's like some new app called Thursdays. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
It's just like, it's supposed to like shake up the datings, online dating.
Ooh.
But you go to,
Is it started by the people in the band Thursday?
yeah,
they
it's
shake it up
very,
that
it's
everyone
very
goes to a
post
Yeah.
punk.
Yeah, totally.
But it's like, apparently they give like a date and like everyone goes there and everyone's single. And
Oh, yeah, that's great.
and they're trying to they're trying to bring back the, online dating has gotten stale in some ways and it's trying to do that again. But then even that, I'm like, I can't imagine that it wouldn't be a little bit like, the guys are probably a little too hard and the girls are a little too fucking try hard.
Wait,
I don't know. I'd have to go to one.
So
You
it's
should.
it's
Why don't you go to one and give us a live report?
Yeah, it's like a meetup
Okay.
thing.
It's a what?
It's like a meetup kind
Yeah.
of deal. Okay.
But it's supposed to be, I mean, yeah, I guess they choose a date. I've just seen advertisements for it.
I've
Um,
never heard of that. I'm gonna check it out.
But then someone mentioned it.
Not
So
to go on a date, but
we'll host one. We should fucking host
Dude,
one.
We should host the Bradshaw.
How are
Boys
we going to get
Thursdays.
single guys at our thing? We've always tried to get guys to listen to our podcast, but we really primarily
It's
there's not that many straight guys that do.
we could find some single guys.
Yeah.
I bet let's host a Thursday. I'm totally into that. I could find some single guys. You know some single guys.
Yeah, we could host. We could totally host a thing. We could
That'd
get
be
a bar
insane.
with drink specials. We could absolutely do that.
Everyone has to come with their favorite TV show, a badge with their favorite TV show.
You like TV?
See, but here's the problem with Carrie Bradshaw's thing, which she didn't get into, which everyone needs to understand now. Figuring out who is looking for what, because that job used to be done by society, and that has now basically been chosen as like not society's business anymore, and it's like individuals' business. And so there's good things of that, but one of the bad things is that everyone that you meet is on different pages. And then sometimes the people that are the most clear about what their intentions are end up getting more rejection, I think.
Yeah.
But maybe that's getting them closer to their goal, which is like, cool, I don't have time to waste.
Yeah.
But
Are
it
you
seems like
promoting the caste system right now? Is that what's happening?
I am. So if you're some fucking gross, dirty, poor person,
Listen, I don't want no serfs. All right.
A serf is a guy who
A serf is a guy who just tills a field all day, hanging at the passenger side of the slave wagon and trying to holler at me. I don't want no serfs. Weren't serfs kind of like slaves?
I think like they worked for feudal lords, right?
Dude, I hope that we get a bunch of negative serf reviews. I'm not a slave.
as someone in the caste system that listens to your podcast,
I was an indebted worker. That's
first
different
of
than
all-
being a slave.
First of
okay?
all, my grandfather was a feudal lord, and I identify as a serf.
Oh my god.
I come from a long lineage of feudal lords. Okay, and me and my friends are serfs.
I mean, what do you do if you're just out? I mean, what would Carrie say to all of these people? Like, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
Well,
Because I'm sure it's not that hard for all of those girls to get.
I think that there's oh boy, how deep do I want to go? There's
As deep. Hey, you've been gone. Time to go deep, bro.
So Kierkegaard said we're condemned to be free,
Oh,
and
we're
like the
We're
burden.
back.
All right,
Of,
never mind. Fuck that. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I want to hear.
No,
it.
but like
I'm
the
very
burden
in for this.
of choice is oftentimes crippling to us, and
Paradox of choice? Is that the same thing?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Sorry. I'll stop in her.
I think we are inundated and overwhelmed with options in the modern world, and I think that can be debilitating to making decisions and pursuing what you want. And I think this is true with like diets, or this is true with like self-help books, or this is probably true with like dating advice, where it's like you can spin your wheel so much trying to find the solution you think would work best for you, when it's instead just pick a plan and fucking do it. It's gonna work. Like, don't sit and read about all the different diets. Just pick one and commit to it, and you will find success. Same thing with self-help. Same thing with saving money. Same thing with whatever it is. Where I think people like start to spin their wheels is when they like, and I'm in the middle of this right now. We're sleep training Mickey, and I've read like every single sleep training thing out there, and I'm crippled by which one I can do. And it's just like, just fucking pick one. Just do one of them and you'll be successful. And it's like these people that probably are going to listen to Carrie, like I imagine are reading all sorts of advice columns and books and self-help stuff. And instead just like listen to one thing and do it, and you'll probably meet someone.
Well, I 100% agree with you. The only difference between that and a human being is like, I think the principles are the same, but it's different with, obviously, if you're a George Costanza, that's just like some perfect woman, like likes your fat, bald ass. And you're just like, I don't know. Her teeth are weird. You know, it's just like, George, fucking get your shit together.
Yeah.
Especially the real life Georges sometimes. And, you know, sometimes you're just like, they'll come to you and like, they don't even realize like how good they have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with human beings, it's such like a fucking crapshoot, because you'll see some people that like last forever. Like my parents, they met and got married after 3 months and 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we just got lucky. Now that's not totally true, because they're both great people and they're committed and all that stuff.
And your dad's got a battleship.
And my dad's got a fucking battleship.
Yeah.
Okay. He's not rolling up to my mom being like, let's get married with a fucking schooner.
Dude,
Yeah,
Barbie
no.
in the battleship.
Dude,
Barbie.
that thing changed color and doubled in size.
Dude. Things got freaking rail guns mounted on it.
Call him back. Hey, question, Pops. How dark's that penis skin? Oh my God.
What's the Pantone of your penis skin?
He's like, it's CI 30875. Whoa.
Oh man,
So-
interesting.
But the thing that makes that more interesting with your relationships is, you're right. The basic gist is people are like, if you find something that like checks some boxes and you guys are committed, like that's what a relationship is. You're either in it or you're not. That doesn't mean you should marry anyone, but like I feel like most people are like, it's commitment. It's not just like luck or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's hard when you're choosing that, because it's like, oh shit, do I want someone with a stable job or someone who's like comfortable with change? Or do I want someone who's like, you know, all just like the different things that make up like what the future of your life is going to look like is really, I guess it's what you're saying. It's the paradox of choice. Like, but still, like it just feels a little harder than with human beings, because there's the risk of getting hurt. With a diet, there's not like the risk of getting
Totally. But it's just like,
hurt.
I don't know. And I'm not a psychologist or a social expert, but I imagine the ability to just endlessly scroll through faces on an app is probably debilitating. And like there's a reason why we're snapping back to something like Thursdays, because just like sitting there and endlessly scrolling, like it's probably not great for, I don't know, people, or maybe it is, and I'm an idiot.
No.
Also willing to consider that as well.
No, I mean,
I just wonder how many guys at Thursdays are like, I'm not trying to see you on. I'm not trying
Friday.
to see you past Friday.
I'm
wonder
just
how
trying
many
to
guys
get.
that Thursdays are scrolling on apps.
I'm just trying to get a blowjob under the table real quick.
I'm trying to get,
Sitting next to my blonde hair friend.
trying to get Claire Ann.
Whoa, sorry I asked you to blow me at a restaurant. Sorry, I'm a Sex in the City fan. I thought you said you were.
I thought you said you liked TV.
I thought you said you thought season 3 was at one of the popular seasons.
Sorry, I want to fuck you so hard the headboard bangs against the wall. I thought you were a Charlotte.
Okay.
Are you not a Kappa Kappa Gamma Charlotte? Oh, geez.
Oh, well, you might be interested in being in a relationship with me, because I can't get off during sex and I'm addicted to pornography. It's like 75% of men these days.
I know, it's true. It's like pretty much everyone is a Trey now.
Yeah, everyone's a Trey.
Yeah.
Just fucking jerking off to an OnlyFans and quietly distancing their wife away from. Not you. You're not that.
Hey. So let's talk about asshole Jim.
Maybe you are. I don't know. You jumped off that storyline real quick.
Dude, just drop it. Drop it.
Stop it.
Sit. Sorry, I brought my dog here tonight.
Next storyline.
Next song. Next. Let's talk about asshole Kevin. Asshole Jim.
Asshole Jim.
You guys ever found yourself being the asshole?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wait, in a relationship?
I think mine, and you both could probably attest to this from being two of my close friends. But well, you're welcome. Oh, we'll see, bro. No, but like, I don't know. You tell me if this is a fair assessment. I think mine would be that I am typically not, and then something happens where there's like an overcorrection where I like blow up, or like, because I tend to not be, and then all of a sudden
burn it down. Yeah,
burn it down, and it'll sometimes have to do with like other factors in my life or whatever, but it'll just like all come out.
Yeah,
and
I'm trying to think. Is there any? Because this would never have happened when you were the initiator of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to. There's like at some time that I remember some girl like giving you lip, and like you went back at her, and I was just like, "Whoa, Corey's like getting a little salty."
Well, there was
Corey is not someone I'd want to trade tongues with. I feel like Corey
because
could,
it is a sharp sword because it's rarely used.
I feel like
that's the best way of putting it.
If you went toe to toe with a verbal assault against Corey, I think he would level almost anyone.
There is one time
he'd cut you deep.
If someone can find this on the podcast, I would love it if someone could tell us when, we can clip it out. But I remember there's something I said where I was like passionate about something that happened in an episode. And I remember it was when we were recording in Jeremy's studio, and Jon was just like, "Wow, I never want you to be angry at
no,
me."
Dude.
No, I think the thing you might be
wrath of a
referring to,
gentleman.
the thing, well, there's two things. There's one thing that you could be referring to where I was like in the middle of a breakup with a girl I was dating, and I was like trying to be understanding, and she just goes, "You know what? Shut up." And I just went, "No, you shut up." And then I just laid out my points even more. She was like, "Okay," and it was like we were both like having a conversation, but I was like, "You're not going to cut me off right now." And then, but we were.
I'm merging my car.
But we were at our old favorite karaoke bar, and there was a girl that was there was a girl whose friend wanted to hit on our friend of the pod, Harlan.
Mm-hmm.
And the other friend came in, and I was in a.
Yes!
Is that what it was?
That's what I'm thinking of.
I was in a very, very bad place in my life relationally. It was a very tough time, and I remember I just like came out to meet friends, to like be around some friends, and she was like, "Hey, my friend thinks your friend is cute," and we were like, "Oh, cool." And then as she was there while her friend was talking to Harlan, she just like sassed a bunch of us.
Yeah.
And man, it was like unleash the sword. I just let it go.
I remember that. And that was one of those things that like, I think even though that girl was like, she was definitely mean and like drunk mean.
And drunk mean, I want you to say what you're going to say now. I'm like trying to like set the stage of like, here's why. But drunk mean coming in hot to a group of people she didn't know at all.
Oh, you were definitely right because you were defending yourself and our friends.
Yeah. But
I think there was like a few guys there, all just like there's never like attractive girls at that bar. So I think there was like
Don't talk about
we haven't said the place. It was like an old cop bar. Like it was.
I thought it was
no.
Your old hang.
No, it was it was like an old like cop firefighter bar. So
it was a different bar.
But so I think there was a thing I was like, yeah, she's mean, but come on, one of us might get to make out with her. Like stop. And you were just like being like your good self. But it was funny. The fangs like came out.
I was like, no one's living in this house. I'm burning it down. Yeah, there were a few things that happened in those couple months.
That's so funny.
I mean, there's also, I think we've all had different friends that we've warned about different people to date. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mine was a big one, but I also like there was a girl that someone's just like, you know, someone like she they had dated her, and then like I thought she was cute, and they're like, yeah, you shouldn't. And then it was like, yeah, the second she showed me some attention, I was like, well, yeah, I'm not gonna, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went through.
Also, one of our close friends
our-
dated my ex-fiance for 2 years.
Oh my god.
So there's that too.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you say don't touch the stove, but sometimes people want to touch the stove.
Sometimes see if it singes.
Yeah.
Sometimes in order to listen, people got to get burned.
Oh my gosh. Here's the deal. I'm gonna do a hot take.
Ooh, we do a hot take.
No, I have to like Carrie in this rewatch.
Okay.
But like, was he saying stuff about Carrie that you think wasn't true? I mean, he was definitely an asshole. He was passive aggressive and overly like he was definitely a dickhead. But I'm sure Carrie probably didn't. Carrie doesn't have a great track record in relationships.
That's
Let's
true.
just say that.
What were the things he said? He said something about like you must really like shoes because
Well, she wasn't sleeping with him. She wasn't like he's like sex wasn't there. It's
She
funny you
walked all
write. It's
over.
funny you like write about sex because it didn't exist.
right.
Yeah.
That's a dickhead move. But he was like, of course you never came to my shows, which is a dickhead move. If you're dating someone, you got to go to their shows.
You got to go to at least
What's his band called? Ass something?
Did they mention it?
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Oh, gosh, we got
The band's name was something Ass, and I was
Let me
like,
find it.
oh man, their music's so fucking good.
Dude, it rips so hard.
Hold on, I have to find what it is.
Well, I think that you're right. I think that she probably. I mean, that shows. Listen, Carrie Bradshaw. She's a fucking hot ticket. There's a reason why she can break someone's heart that hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do want to shout out to a website that we have looked on before that has a recap of this, just called CarrieBradshawIsTheWorst.com.
Oh yeah.
They do. It's a blog where they do great recaps of this.
I imagine his band sounds like Puddle of Mud.
Mm.
Yeah, totally. And that was kind of like Puddle of Mud time.
Hold on,
Oh man.
just like this.
Dude, but Carrie would like love going to this. Like,
Maybe not. Maybe they're
20-year-old?
heavier.
What kind of music was Carrie
Wait.
into when she was in her 20s?
I mean,
No. Oh, music?
I feel like Carrie was like a classic rock person, but not like Steely Dan. I feel like she would love like I feel like Hot Child in the City was such a great episode for her music taste.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she loved all that, I think she'd love going to like a bar where they've got a cover band playing classic rock jams, like that kind of thing.
Do you guys want to know what the best joke in the episode was?
What?
Tell me.
Super, super great New York joke. But also, I want to get your opinions if you think it was too brutal.
Okay.
Samantha, right when Samantha and Charlotte get into it,
Mm-hmm.
she says, "Okay, Mr. Softy, at least I'm getting laid."
Ouch.
That
who said
was
Samantha says that to Charlotte.
Yeah, she did. I will say that was speaking of
Someone who loves Mr. Softy. I love Mr. Softy.
You love Mr. Softy. So do I. But no, speaking of like watching friends go a little too hard or like be the mean one, watching that scene was I could feel the conflict there.
I know.
Super well written too, because they usually don't, because it's such a risky thing to create conflict between the characters, because then you lose part of the magic of the show.
Right.
But for this one, of all of them, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of team Charlotte in this just because she's in such a precarious place.
Yeah, I think like it's one of those interesting scenarios because Samantha wasn't going out of her way to make Charlotte feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Samantha, as her friend, when you know your friend's going through something, you don't want to like sit there and talk about how the stallion's fucking your brains out nonstop. It's on you to scale back who you are to make the person you're with feel comfortable.
Yeah,
and I think
true.
Samantha didn't do that. So I'm going to award Charlotte was in the right for that.
I mean, this is one of the hardest. This would be among one of the hardest things to go through, I think, in the whole series.
Yeah.
The Charlotte and Trey.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be newly married and have your husband, like that fucking she's like a great comedic actress. And I think Cynthia Nixon probably wins the award for like best dramatic performance on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But like that scene.
Hold on.
Or Len.
No, dude, what about the guy who loves TV?
The Guy Who Loves TV.
That's just believable.
And
on all
now-
levels.
The award for Best Dramatic Actor in all of Sex and the City. La La Land. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Guy Who Loves TV.
The Guy Who Loves TV. Holy shit, this is great because I said I love TV on a TV show. It's like this crazy thing that
I'm winning an award for TV.
And that's all. Is this also going to be on TV?
Right now, this is being broadcast on the National Broadcasting System, NBC.
I guess that means I love myself. Thank you.
It's happening again. Okay, her acting at the end of like that
This
scene
episode?
before,
Or wait,
fucking
is that what you're
incredible.
talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was amazing.
where she's just like,
The
look at
lingerie
me,
scene.
I'm your
Good
wife,
Lord.
and I'm
Mhm.
sexual,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
that
such
was-
good acting
and it was fucking heavy.
Mhm.
and really heavy. Yeah,
And like, for her to not go off, for her to be, I mean, it's sad the way their marriage goes, and it's not going to fix everything. But I did feel like it was kind of a masterclass book that's been referenced many times on this podcast.
Mhm.
Safe Haven.
Mm.
When I read that after my like worst relationship experience, it was like you incur a huge cost emotionally when you are vulnerable and it's not met.
Yeah.
So for her to do that and wait, and then not be like, you know what, fuck you forever.
Yeah.
For her to
Right.
like that silence between, because I forgot. I was like, dude, if he rejects her, this is like kind of too intense.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great scene. You're absolutely right.
Great scene. Yeah, and great, and on a not as intense thing, but great scene after with her and Samantha. Great little like friend follow up scene.
Yeah.
Mhm.
that was nice.
Yeah, to like palate cleanse their like
Yeah.
meanness to each other. Not meanness, but
Uncle
disconnect.
Ted's Ass. That's the name of the band. I found
No
it.
way.
It's called
Yes.
Uncle Ted's Ass.
I told you.
Dude. Who's Uncle Ted?
Wouldn't it be great if he was?
If
the
I
old
wouldn't have
man
remembered
ass guy?
that and you wouldn't have looked it up, we would have missed that until the third rewatch that we did. We wouldn't have
That's
taught this
totally
for another
true.
4 years.
That's totally
Which is
true.
our 20-year rewatch reunion.
Yeah, exactly.
Uncle Ted's ass. Uncle Ted's ass. Dude, remember at the LA show we did? The fucking girl that knew every bit of trivia
Yes,
Yeah.
and
it was
like insane. I bet she would know that.
I'm sure she would know about
You,
Ted's
dude,
ass.
you need to write a song for Uncle Ted's ass.
Okay.
Oh, we should totally do that.
Come to our live show. Uncle Ted's ass is going to
Uncle
be
Ted's ass is
performing.
going to open
People
for
are
us.
just gonna be like, what? I saw a few episodes. I'm a fan, but
what?
what?
I
What is
like the
Uncle Ted's
fashion.
ass?
Why are you guys wearing Uncle Ted's ass merch?
It was a weird show. They talked about some guy named Shmuel for an hour, and then they said Kristen Davis was supposed to be a guest, but they talked so long about Len Schneiderman that they didn't get to bring Kristen Davis.
Come think about it. I hate the Bradshaw Boys.
Yeah, Bradshaw Boys fucking suck.
That's a
Absolute waste
refund.
of my money.
It's almost like they've been doing the podcast so long. It's more for them and their 80 patrons than for anyone else to get involved in the podcast. And that would be true. No, it's for anyone who fucking loves this shit. What else do we got to cover?
I mean, let's go back to Shmuel.
What
I think-
else we gotta cover?
What else we got to cover?
Hey, Barack, what else we gotta cover?
Come
You're
on.
all renegades.
That was Bruce.
That was Bruce.
I
That
thought
was
you
my
were doing
bad
Joe.
Bruce. No.
Come on, man.
Hey,
Come on, man. You're not gonna talk at all about Carrie and
I
Natalia.
feel like you did too many stutters
In
right there.
Italia?
No, you attacked him.
No.
do you know?
Don't roll your eyes at me.
You guys know what this clown is doing over here? You know that's from.
What's that?
It's from the Biden Trump debate. I looked up a GIF for the word clown the other day, and there's just a GIF of Biden saying, "Do you know what this clown is doing over there?"
Oh, man.
Great. I wish that they would have.
Should Carrie have gone to lunch? Should Carrie have gone to lunch with Natalia?
That's the next episode, Kevin.
Oh my gosh, her name's Natasha.
Yeah.
Well, come on, man.
Sorry, my memory's not so good. I've been in politics a long time.
Okay.
Okay, so Uncle Ted Jack's best album. Tell me.
Uncle Ted Kennedy. Ted Kennedy's ass. Man. Okay, what did we not cover?
We covered it all.
We covered
That's it. We covered.
Then we gotta end the podcast.
We covered death, asshole Jim. We covered Anne Marie or whatever her name is. Table blowjobs. We covered Trey. We covered Kappa Kappa Gamma. We covered Carrie. We covered her class. Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, do y'all think that is there a moment when you realize that you were different than people you might have gone to high school or college with because you've been away for so long? Like how Charlotte does with her Kappa Kappa Gammas.
Oh, I am completely different than people I went to college with.
Were you always different, or did that like happen at some point because you
Dude, I think living in New York just makes you a New York person.
I absolutely agree.
And I think when you go back and interact with non-New York people, you're like, oh, I'm different. It can be something as simple as like New Yorkers really dance at weddings. Other people don't. New Yorker.
Because we do cocaine.
Okay. Or it can just be like, you go back and I don't know. If you go out of New York and interact with your old friends, you're just like, I'm a little bit different now.
Yeah, I get that.
I think what's really cool, there's like a lot more writing about this now. I think because like cities have like blown up the past like 20 years. Mm-hmm. And with social media, I think people like talk about it more. But people talk about like finding their tribe. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's like a very New York thing. And so I thought this was like a really beautiful episode because a lot of times if there's strife, it just feels shitty. And this kind of had like full circle. They all like came back together. And these 4 people, they're like written to be like archetypes. But I think a lot of people relate to the show because you do find your little tribe. Like we're 3 like very different dudes, and like, and if like Harlan was here or like fill in like a 4th, like, yeah, we're like, we could be 4 like straight white dudes. And yet really like we contain multitudes. No, but we're like very different and wouldn't find like you fucking go to magic tournaments, and like, and like Cory's interests and mine, like, even though we started doing comedy together, like we're all very different. And I think that's one of the fun parts of New York is finding like a really specific, interesting, weird tribe. And that can happen in lots of places, but I feel like this happens. It happens.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to text Kevin and just say, hey, I need a hot take, and then give him a topic and then just receive a Doyle hot take.
Do you do that?
I did it today. Yeah.
Well, can you talk about the take you got, and then we'll give the time back to the listeners?
I can do it afterwards.
It's a post-pod thing.
Post-pod take.
Post-pod thing.
I don't even know how my take went, but we'll see.
So you served up the take.
Here's what happened, though, I will say on the pod. Kevin sent me some texts. I read those. And then he sent me a voice recording.
Yeah.
And it was like a longer one. And I hate the Apple voice recordings because, first of all, your phone turns off.
Kevin and I have covered this in our personal relationship and with friends of the pod that we've done voice recordings with. It is the feature of the iPhone that they started and was really good. And then they had to consolidate, and they fired those developers, and they stopped 6 times.
Yeah, I started your voice recording, and it always would cut off.
Was your phone on low battery?
No, the screen shut off once, and then I ran into a friend in the street, and then I got a phone call, and then something else.
Kevin
it was
knows
just like,
fix.
I'll give you a hack in the future.
Yeah,
even if you have to wait. But I do them mostly desktop or iPad now.
Oh, smart.
Because then you can use your phone while you do it. But dude, half of the voice memos that Cory sends me and that I send him are just like fucking shit. I just did 2 minutes of this and then my finger slipped. So anyways, I'll cut to the point. Can we do one?
So it's actually a good feature because it condenses everyone, because you mess up the first one and come back with a.
It's actually true. It's self-editing.
I want to read this. I want to read this quote before we finish the pod.
Okay.
It honestly, like, I think about it like with every friend that I've made. I think about it. Friendship is born at that moment when one person says to another, "What? You too? I thought I was the only one." It's like that's like your entire like life trajectory changes in those moments. You know,
absolutely.
When it's just like a band or a movie or fucking imagine what Sex and the City has done for people's friendships.
Yeah,
dude, so good.
It's like you like getting your ass eaten after You
Running?
like eating ass after
after crushing 12 miles in some sweaty Lululemon.
Me too.
Me too.
I thought I was the only one.
Love you all. Thank you so much for listening. Toss us up a couple likes, a couple comments on the old Apple Tunes.
5 stars on iTunes right now. If you haven't done it, feel guilty or go do it and absolve yourself.
If you haven't done it, have an awful day tomorrow.
Come to our live show.
Yeah.
December 6th.
Love you guys. Later, taters.
The Bradshaw Boys stars Cory Cavin, Jon Sieber, and Kevin James Doyle. The show is produced by Jeremy L. Balon. For more information on the guys, check out their website at bradshawboys.com, on social media at The Bradshaw Boys, and if you see them in the street, tip your glass. Thanks for listening.